What's up, y'all? It's your boy Keon Stafford, and that is the real Keon Stafford. If you're watching this video right now and you want to advertise, promote your business, your brand, your product, anything you want to do to get exposure, guess what? DM me right now on Instagram at the real Keon Stafford. Once again, that is the real Keon Stafford on Instagram. DM me right now. I got some good packages for y'all. DM me right now. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Keon Stafford, and that is the real Keon Stafford. If you're watching this video, get on over there to youtube.com/the real Keon Stafford and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell so you won't miss me live weekly. That's weekly, y'all, at 9 p.m. as we laugh, we cry, we talk shit. But most of all, when y'all with me, we gonna have some fun. While you at it, go ahead and add me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat, all at the real Keon Stafford. Tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your cousin, tell your auntie, tell your sister, tell all your little family that y'all be kikiing the ha-ha with to get on over there and follow me on all social media at the real Keon Stafford. Bye. Child, he get on, he cuts the fool, he talk real shit, bitch. We laugh, we cry, we have fun. They don't have no outlet, or they don't have no voice, or they don't have no one to confide in, you know, so... Whew. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Get my drink real quick. Scoot up in my little chair. What's up, y'all? Let the people come on in. What's up, Wayne? What's up, Lacey? I see some more people popping up on in there. Y'all go ahead and drop them comments. This the second night y'all have seen me this week. First week we was Wednesday. Now we on today. Good old Thursday. This good old Thursday. Hey, Lady Red, what's going on? Y'all, so tonight we have someone that's gonna drop some knowledge. Someone that is smart, someone who help people stay together, someone who is a man of all talents. If you haven't followed him, when he come on and introduce himself after the video, after this live, make sure you go and follow him real quick. Make sure y'all run over there and follow him. So you can hear me. You ready to come on? You can hear me? Okay. So I'm going to get ready and bring him on in a few minutes. Get this together. So, you ready?
Ready to rock and roll. How's it going?
What's going on, Lamont? What's going on?
Look, happy Thursday to you.
Look, happy Thursday.
You're a busy man.
Thursday, but we here. We here. Yeah. What's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Listen, thanks for having me. I'm excited. You know, it's been a busy week. I can hear for you, but me too. I'm always up to have a conversation and, you know, talk about love, relationships, and meet some new folks while we're doing it.
Yeah, look, I've been watching your platform. I was like, okay, I see him. Look at the gay dating coach. Look, I see you put emphasis on that. Gay dating coach. I'll go outside and look, only in the US.
Yes, listen, I'm one person. I know what my niche is. I know what works well. So I don't try to work with the straight folks. I work with the gays, just the gays, okay?
Look, I hate to say it like this, but the straights sometimes be a little too much.
Well, you know, they live by a different rule book than us. So we subscribe to some different things. So I've kind of specialized in that, and I know which lane I need to stay in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. So go ahead and tell the people who you are, where they can find you, how they can find you, and what you do.
Sure. So again, my name is Lamont White. I got married last year, so I had to change my last name. So my bachelor last name was Scales. Now it's White. So Lamont White. I tell folks I am a all-around wraparound service for gay men. I do dating coaching, I do matchmaking, and I also do couples counseling with guys all over the United States. I do some speed dating events in person and virtually. I also do Shoot Your Shot Wednesdays, which I'm sure you had a chance to watch yesterday. It's a great way for guys to kind of connect on Instagram Live. I asked them some spicy, some insightful, and some funny questions about being single. And I, encourage guys to kind of slide in their DM and invite them on dates. You have to definitely check it out on Wednesday.
Look, I have watched it, and I said, oh my God, like just to see the different people that pop in and to, actually say, hey, I'm coming on here. This is me. This is my flaws. This is my strengths. And I need a man.
Right. It takes a lot of courage to get up in front of like 300-400 people and say who you are, shoot your shot. It takes balls. So I always take my hat off to folks who do it. And I'm always surprised at the number of people who join every week. Like,
yeah, I seen, I was watching last night. I kind of tuned in. I recorded live last night with a mutual friend. I'm not sure if you heard of him, Craig Stewart. So,
the author.
Yes. So me and Craig did a show last night, and on my way home, I kind of tuned in and kind of watched you a little bit. And as soon as I logged in, it was like you was already talking about what we doing tonight. So I was like, okay, Lamont. So I
gave you a shout out. I definitely gave you a shout out. Yeah.
I definitely seen somebody said, shoot your shot, the highlight of my week.
Hey, Wayne, Dr. Woodson.
Yes. So what made you get into your field? How did it start?
Yeah. So, I'm pretty old. I won't give you my real age, but my background is in counseling. So I've been doing therapy with gay couples and gay men for years.
Okay.
And I get to see like the good, the bad, and the ugly of relationships. And what I noticed back in 2014, when I started doing matchmaking, there really weren't any matchmakers that were catering towards gay men, especially gay men of color. So a good friend and I got together and we said, why don't we try to start a service where we can help guys meet each other, hence the name of the company, Better Way to Meet. So guys, it's hard for some gay men to meet each other who actually want to get into a relationship outside of like bars, clubs, and apps. And there's no shade on any of those, but it's usually hard for guys to meet each other who want something serious. Usually in those environments, it's more kind of like hookup culture, and guys are like, I can get, hook up anywhere, right? But I really want to find a guy of quality who wants to build something. So I said, hey, let's make it happen. And since then, I have matched hundreds of guys. I've even got some guys who got married from using my service as well.
Well, that's good. That's definitely good. So for those who are just now tuning in, this is Lamont. So we're talking about his Shoot Your Shot Wednesday. So he come on and he goes live on Instagram each and every Wednesday at 9 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. He goes live and like he said, he hook guys up and he make the world a better place, or our community a better place. So do you reach out to lesbians or it's just guys?
So I exclusively only, I don't know what other synonyms I can use. I only work with gay men. Now, so when so there have been like lesbians who have reached out to me. I refer them to other matchmakers that I know who work with lesbians.
Okay.
I've had some transgender individuals reach out to me. I refer them to other people that I work with. I'm a part of a national matchmaking institute. And so we collaborate every week where we have different calls and we talk about like the work that we do. So I share that information with them or I make referrals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. So being a dating coach, how does that play in your relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you know it all, or how does that go? Because you're the guy that give all the answers, or help match. So how do you reflect and look in the mirror and look back on your relationship with it?
So I think, of course, I would be lying if I say my personal experience don't shape the way I look at dating coaching in the world. But also, I've actually been trained to do this work. I didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I think I'll be a dating coach or a matchmaker.
Right.
So I have an undergrad in psychology. I also have a master's in professional counseling. I've been trained to work with people to help them achieve their goals. I even help create intervention for couples around making decisions. So I have the experience as far as like academic, but also draw on like some of my personal experiences dating. I've been married for 8 months. It's like 8 or 9 months, but I've been in multiple relationships. So I understand what the dating scene looks like. I've experienced rejection. I've experienced success. You name it, I've probably been through it. So I think that really helps me to help my clients a lot better whenever I work with them.
Okay. Well, I get it. And for those who are watching, if you want to drop questions, those who are single, those who are in a relationship, if it's complicated, anything you want to get on, if you want to drop down in the comment box, if you want to ask any questions, if you want to come on and chat with us as well, I will post the link and drop the link into the comment section so you can see it. But so my next question to you is, are you from Atlanta? How did you get here?
So no, I wish I was from Atlanta, but I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, up north. Originally from there. It is super cold up there, racist, so I had to leave that place.
Okay.
I moved to Philadelphia, lived there for about 6 years. Absolutely loved living in Philly. But moved to Atlanta because I just really wanted to live in an environment where it was okay to be openly gay. And also people of color are actually in places of power and succeeding. So I did not see that in Pittsburgh. I did not see that in Philadelphia. So I wanted to move into a different environment.
Okay. So how did you find Atlanta? What made you say, I'm going to Atlanta?
Listen, of course, when I was in my 20s, I went to Pride and I've been to Atlanta. I was like, oh, this is the place I want to visit. And that's one of the things, like whenever I'm doing dating coaching, Keon, I meet guys who like live in small cities and they're like, oh, I can't find a guy. They live in like Cleveland. They might live in Jackson, Mississippi. I tell those guys, save up your money and move to a different city where you can actually find a mate and where a city actually appreciates you for who you are.
Right. Yeah. So this is going to be my next question. Somebody actually dropped it down. D will say, have COVID slowed down your dating work, or is it more chatting online versus in person?
So great question. So actually, I was doing primarily working in Atlanta right before COVID hit.
Okay.
So last year, back in April, I expanded my business to every city. So COVID for my business has actually grown and pushed me to work with guys in different cities. So I am busier than I can ever think as far as sitting in guys on dates, dating coaching, and couples counseling for guys all over the United States. What I did find, and also when I say I give information, it's not like my opinion. This is like research I've done. So Match.com did a study and they found that during COVID, people were interacting more on the app, having more conversations compared than before. So previously people were going to talk a little bit and then hook up.
Right.
During COVID, they take their time. It's more about like guys want to connect, have conversations because they're kind of lonely.
Mm-hmm.
They want some of that companionship and conversation.
Yeah. So how do you try to, we're grown here. So, we have the Jack, the Grinder, the whatever dates. So how do you get guys, or how you try to persuade them to try to get from the dating app and try to get in the more natural scene of dating? Like actually meeting somebody at the store, stepping outside their comfort zone.
So listen, you might not like this response. So I don't knock the apps at all. I actually encourage my dating coaching clients. And so people who are watching, this is some free advice that I charge people. All right. I tell guys, I actually create profiles for my clients on Jacked and Grinder.
Okay.
I think guys are doing it all the wrong way. I think you can find love on Jacked and Grinder, and guys have. It's all about how you're presenting yourself. If you have your dick in your ass out, or your chest, or blank picture, of course people are going to approach you on wanting to have sex. But if you put your face picture out there, some really quality good pictures, and listing what you want in a relationship, what you do for fun, those are profiles where guys are like, hey, he sounds interesting. Let me slide into his DM and invite him on a date. So I'm that guy who's trying to change how people use Jacked and Grinder. That is going to be my goal, that we use it in a way that we can connect with each other to go on dates. And if you want to hook up on it, have at it. Like, no shame. Make a separate account. Like, make a different account where you do your hookup, and then your other account where you do your dating. Like, make it work.
Yeah. Look, get your rocks off, meet your people, and us and a couple of others, we like to change things around. And originally I think Jack was for, like a dating app, but we done made it, or the community that made it where it's just a hookup, and the kind of changed the name of it. So like I said, I don't knock people for what they do. I encourage people to get in a relationship. We all had our whole days.
Yeah.
But I encourage people to get in a relationship. Like, look, I'm in a relationship. I tell you, this is the last one, so I'm gonna make it work.
Well, I will say, so some people, marriage is not like a goal for them, and it maybe should not be. And some people, they're content with being single. And if that is you, that is great. And there are some people who are just not ready to be in a relationship, and they make the mistake of, because they're lonely or they feel pressured to get in a relationship, that they get into dating and being with someone, and they mess it up pretty badly because they haven't done the work on themselves. And they haven't figured out what they really want in a relationship. So they'll go on a date with anybody that shows them attention. And it's like, no, that's not the guy for you. Like,
yeah, look, anybody buy them a cheeseburger, they're going on a date, and next thing you know, 15 minutes later, they open their legs, maybe 30. But that's, kind of now, back then, I say all the time, it kind of have changed from when our parents was growing up, or when our grandparents was growing up. They actually took the time to sit down, talk, meet, and get to know each other. Now it's just hookups. I don't see the work putting in. I'm not gonna say for everybody, just for some. For some. So what are the type of information you should know or share on the first date? What would you say?
Okay, so great question. Who was it? That was Lacey.
That was Lacey.
Lacey, great question. Before I tell you what you should talk about, let me tell you what you should not talk about. Okay? If you don't like your job, if you don't like your weight, if you don't like your ex-boyfriend, those are things you absolutely don't talk about on a first date. You don't want to talk about anything that's going to make you frown. Okay? Right. No drama, nothing. If you've been arrested before, we're not bringing that up on the first date, okay? I want you to bring on your first date. All I want people to do is to have a good time, have fun, talk about particularly why you wanted to go on a date with this person. Like, hey, I'm so happy, we got to hang out. We've been going back and forth online about, whatever. And you're like, I feel like you're a cool person. Give the person up front their flowers so that they feel appreciated, right? That's what you want to talk about. You also want to talk about like who you are, like what outside of your job, who is the real you? Like what makes you smile? What makes you passionate about life? What is your mission? Those are things you talk about. You also talk about what are some of your values. This is a key thing. Like, what do you value in life? Do you value wealth, health, spirituality, family, fitness? Those are things that you're going to talk about to see if there's compatibility. Like you're literally saying, I like to go to the gym. Oh, I go to church once a week. Or like I get to see my family at least 2 days a week.
2 days a week, right?
Like you share those types of things on a first date. I think some people feel like they have to do vomit and share their whole life story on a first date. No, you don't owe the person that. You don't talk about anything that is a Debbie Downer or anything that is controversial or something that's too sensitive.
Yeah. So do you think you should discuss your position on the first date?
If you want to have sex, then sure. But usually I'm like, figure it out once you get into it. Like, I think we're adults, and sometimes it's particularly guys who are over 40, who I send out on dates or do dating coaching with. They feel like they have 5 questions that they have to ask a guy before they open up. And sexual positions is definitely one. They want to know your top, your bottom, or your verse. And I'm like, can that not be the first 2 questions? Can you see if there's some chemistry first before you go there? I do understand sexual positions are very important within the gay community. I do think that, and you're not gonna like this, a lot of my responses, people are not gonna like in the comments.
Look,
but
I be
it's good for you.
Like I say, when you come on here, we talk about every damn thing. Whether they like it or not, we don't talk about it. So be open, talk, speak how you want to speak.
Yeah.
They either watch or don't watch.
Right. So, but I do think like with sexual positions, like we should be a little bit more flexible. Like when the majority of long-term relationships, and I will say the majority of long-term relationships that last 5 and 10 years, there's some flexibility. So if you remain a strict top or a strict bottom, you are limiting your options when you're trying to date, and you're limiting like the success of your long-term relationship. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second.
Let that sink in. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. That's why people have let me rephrase that before I say that. I think that's why a lot of people tend to have, I always say the 80-20 rule.
Mm-hmm.
You have that 80 at home, and then you go chase that 20.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the time is your partner not flexible, like you just said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think also that it's something that your partner doesn't have that you're looking for, and you're not willing to talk about it, or you're not willing to open up about it. So I always tell everybody the 80-20 rule, leave that 20 alone.
Right. So look, Keon, I agree with you. And the challenge is people don't have conversations and communicate. One thing in relationships, both of you are going to evolve. You're going to change over time. And if you don't have those conversations about how your needs are changing, how your desires are evolving, then you find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's both partners' responsibility to communicate, to check in with each other and say, hey, do you still like this? Do you like something new? What are your needs? Like, to make sure that your partner is going to meet your needs, or at least try to give them the opportunity.
Do you encourage your clients for like a relationship checkup?
Oh, yes. That's why I get so many couples that come and work with me. There are couples who aren't having issues, but they're like, hey, we just might need some more skills on how to communicate or to make a decision, or sometimes just to spice up their sex life. I'll sit down and talk to them, be like, hey, have you considered trying this? Have you tried this? And I literally I tell them, do this, and then come back to me and tell me how it is.
How often do you say your techniques that you give to your clients? How often do you say it works?
So my dating coaching clients, 99%.
Okay.
Satisfaction.
Okay.
99%. Literally, because I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna, we're gonna have real conversations. And I don't have what is that word? Cookie cutter like responses. I'd sit down and I listen to what's not working well, and we come up with a plan that is solid. And if you do it, and the key word is if you do it, it works. What happens like that 1% of the time is people don't want to do the work. They feel like dating should be easy, it should be organic, it should be natural. That's a lie. It's a lie. Dating is it's time, it's effort, and it's money. Okay?
The last part.
and it's money, okay?
Look, because you get in a relationship, you do something depending on your relationship. Everybody's relationship is different. You may split all the bills, or this person may pay pay the mortgage or the rent, and this person may pay the car notes or the insurance and everything. But let me tell you, I tell everybody, you spend more money in a relationship than when you're single.
Well, but here's the thing. If you're having multiple failed dating attempts, you're spending money on outfit, money on dinner, on gas. And if you're doing that once a week, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Dating is money if you're doing it right. Now, if you're doing Netflix and chill, which I feel like is not a date, then yeah, it could be cheap.
Why do you feel Netflix and chill is not a date?
It's not a date. It's not creative. You don't get to know the person. Dating is when you are having fun and moving around together. Mm-hmm. I don't think a dinner date, a coffee date, that's a job interview.
Mm. Somebody just called me. I want you to answer it. So somebody said, if I feel like I'm on an interview, then I shut off. Why?
Yeah, who's that? D. Will, you are absolutely right. You know why? Because sometimes guys are like, hey, let's go grab a drink or let's grab something to eat. You both sit down and you have these 5 to 10 questions that you must ask the guy. And really, it's a job interview. And that's not sexy. It doesn't make you feel appreciated. And it's boring. And usually, yeah, I would shut up too. I'd be like, check, please. Like, instead, invite me out bowling. Let's go axe throwing. Let's go for a walk in Piedmont Park. Let's do something we're moving around. Yeah.
With the guy that I'm with now, I tried things different. Mm-hmm. And it was, like you said, going to the park. It wasn't just your typical going out to eat, just doing things. So it's working.
Right.
It's working.
Because when you do that, Keon, you are one, you're creating memories together. You are moving around. So there's body language, there's energy there, there's passion. That builds chemistry. Like you get to see how he moves. You get to see how he thinks. You get a chance to touch him. You get to see if he's competitive. And, that's a real date. Like, I mean, you can even go shopping on a date. Like, get up and move. I feel like Michelle Obama. Move.
Right. So I got a message. Someone wants to know, how do you tell someone on the date, even if it's your first date or second, how do you tell them that you're HIV positive?
Great question. Not a first date question. Not a first date conversation. I know that, so in part of my background, I used to do HIV prevention. And so I'm used to working with people who are living with HIV.
Okay.
that is not a first date conversation. You don't owe that person that type of information. So when you talk about like HIV status, any type of health conditions, a criminal background, what else? Anything that you feel like you hold close to yourself. No, that's a second or third date conversation. And I feel like it should be in person so that you can put things in context and also gauge the person's response. So often people feel like they can have certain delicate conversations via text message, and that is doing it all the wrong way. Have those types of conversations in person on a second or third date, or right before you feel like you want to have sex.
Yeah.
Not when you're in the bed, though. Not when you're in the bed. Like, yeah, that's
before.
Not when the clothes are off.
And for those who are watching, like I said, if you have any questions, because I know a lot of people watch and don't subscribe to the channel. So if you're watching, if you still want to ask any questions, those who are subscribe to the channel and want to come on, here's the link. So if you want to click on the link and come on and talk with me and Lamont, that is fine. We don't bite. We're gonna give you good advice. So come on to the show.
Yes, we're definitely friendly.
Yes, definitely friendly. So how do you get the financial conversations? Mm-hmm. How do you start talking about finances? Now, this is not the first date. This is, you're in a relationship now, you passed the little honeymoon stage, and everything getting serious. When do you have the financial conversations?
Right. So if you're dating someone, so before that, you should be observant. See how that person spends their money. Listen how they talk about money. Are they always saying, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait till Friday till I get paid"? Are they saying, "Oh, I need to save this"? Listen to some of the signs. I would say the signs about how they spend money and what their relationship is with money. So the only time I feel like you should have money conversations is when right before you're thinking about moving in together. Okay. Because before that, it is really none of your business, like how they spend their money, what they do. Now, if you're thinking about sharing your life or sharing a space with someone, it's like, hey, babe, let's go out for, lunch. During lunch, hey, I know we're thinking about moving in. How much money do you make? Let's talk about finances. How do you spend your money? Like literally, it's okay to say when you're talking about moving in, how much money do you make? What is your credit score? What's your relationship with money? Because you're going to be cohabitating and you're going to be possibly sharing expenses. Those are direct conversations with no chaser. When I say no chaser, don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's okay to ask for verification. Listen, it's okay to ask for verification.
And you know what? A lot of people are scared to have those conversations, because I think today's society where when you find somebody, okay, let's say somebody make less than you, when that come up, it's like, okay, well, some people, immature people, look at it as, okay, well, they can't be beneficial to me, so I shouldn't be talking to them, or they want somebody to take care of them or move forward, so how do you get outside of that?
So it depends on it's about your value system and what you want out of a relationship. Yes, what you want out of a relationship, because you are getting something out of the relationship.
Yeah.
And if financial stability or financial someone taking care of you is what you want, then you need to be straight honest about that. Like I have clients who there are different dynamics in a relationship, and sometimes it is transactional where they're like, hey, I want someone who can financially be a provider while I do X, Y, and Z and support us another way.
Right.
It's okay to have those transparent conversations because you're setting up expectations. And you never want to get into a relationship where their expectations are not clear, where you're saying, well, I knew you would be paying the bills because you make more money, or no, we should do a 50-50, or we should modify this a little bit so that we're both comfortable?
I agree. I agree. I agree. So I'm gonna shift it a little bit. Do you have any questions for me? I know you was coming on, we're talking everything. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm sure you get tons of questions, about relationships. Like, what are you hearing are like the hot topics among like your guys, like about like relationships or even dating?
So I'm gonna say this. I don't put myself in the category or be with people that are my age. I usually hang with people older.
Okay.
So I think my generation is very they're very materialistic in a way. So a lot of things I hear about for us, my generation is, what kind of car you drive, and how big is your house, and how modern is your apartment, and you got 6 figures in your banking account. No, those are the questions or the things I hear my peers talking about. How big is your, private area, and what you gonna do when I come over? Those are the things that my generation talk about. And I'm not gonna say all of them, because some people that are my age definitely want love, and they're definitely old school, and they want to go on the dates, and they want to spend those quality times and everything. But majority of them, they're talking about that. They're talking about the materialistic things.
So I'll say a couple things.
Okay.
I get, like, financial stability, a nice house, a nice car. Those are important things, and most people want their partner to have those things. Right. So I would not shame anybody who's like, hey, I want someone who has a nice place where they live and all those things. Great. At the end of the day, though, what else does that person have to offer? Like, and do you enjoy that person's company, space, personality? Can you? If you can't, all that stuff doesn't matter. Like what type of car he drives or how much money he makes, because the relationship is not going to last. You'll date him for a couple weeks or maybe a month, and then you're going to be like, he annoys the hell out of me. So it'll end. The other point I'll make, and it is what it is. You want a guy who makes 6 figures, drives a nice car, lives in an amazing, nice, modern, big house. Okay, so what are you bringing to the table that makes you worth someone who wants to take care of you? Like, literally, like, what are you bringing to the table besides something physical? Because you can find physical at Walmart on Howell Mill, and you'll be good to go. Okay.
Look, I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Go right down Peachtree, or go buy Bulldogs.
It's a dime a dozen. Are you caring? Are you intelligent? Do you want to build a family? Like, are you loyal? Will you be committed? Are you genuine? And if you're not that, why? So for gay men, most gay men want someone who's confident, who is caring, who is agreeable, who has an opinion. Like, that's what we want out of different.
Right.
That's what we want, particularly for long term.
Definitely long term. Yeah. I think COVID have changed the dating scene a little bit. Now, since things were shut down, I personally feel that people have more time to kind of get to know each other now than back then. Everything was open. I'm just hopping on to the next, each good looking person I see. How do you deal with people or someone? Well, let me phrase that. How do you deal with your partner that has real bad insecurities?
So one thing I tell people, you cannot fix your partner.
Why? You say
it is not your job to fix your partner. It is not. So people get into relationships thinking, oh, I'm going to get in with this guy because he has great potential. I can fix him. I can change him. I can, take him to another level. you are setting yourself up for failure. Like, let that man do his own work, his own like self development, or accept him for who he is. Okay, accept him for who he is. If he's insecure, he needs to go see a counselor and work on that. It's not your job to do that. Say, hey, babe, I know you're insecure. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with you. You need to go work that out with somebody and then come back to me. Yeah. Let me know how I can support you with that.
Yeah.
Like, not your job to fix your man. You can't. You cannot.
You can't.
You can't.
Look, you can't. But you can help them.
And that's why I said, you say, hey, how can I support you with that? However, he has to do the work. He has to. It's not your job to come up with this whole plan for him to be more secure. No, he needs to come up with the plan, and he needs to tell you how, hey, I need you to support me by just, giving me a call once a day, giving me a hug, telling me how much you love me. Not let me go through your phone. No, that's toxic.
Very. And we all have been through that stage.
Right.
We all been through there, going through the phones and, catching what we think we the card and, all those different things. That's very toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic. I get it. I hope y'all get it. I really hope that those that are watching are really learning something and taking down and writing down notes. And if you're single, you can apply it to you. And those who are in a relationship, you can take it back to your partner and kind of go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And, see, how does it help you guys, and do you believe Lamont, learning someone's love language?
Mm-hmm. Very important. Very important. Especially, that's a good first date question.
Okay.
It's a good first date question or activity where like you could take the 5 love language test online and get a result like in a couple minutes.
So, I took that maybe about a month ago.
Yeah.
And me and my partner been together going on 2 years. So I just actually took it. I was like, oh wow, even though we have had conversations and we know different things. So it was kind of funny to see that our love language is kind of the same.
What's your love language?
So my love language is basically communication.
Okay, words of affirmation.
Yeah, words of affirmation.
Yep.
That's my love language. That's what popped up. Words of affirmation.
Yep. So it's a weird. My husband and I are both of our love languages, like our primary ones, are quality time and acts of service. Like, and so we know how to love each other. Like we know how what I need to make them feel special. And I feel like, I see a lot of couples who don't take the time to realize how their partner needs to be loved so that they can show them how to be loved. They're like, no, I need you to do it my way. No, do it your partner's way, because that's what he was taught how to love. And you can't really change that. Yeah.
That, like you say, that's how he was taught. And I think also, agree or disagree, do you believe in how you seeing your parents interact? It plays a part into your dating life. Do you believe in that?
Oh, definitely. And that's a question I ask a lot of my dating coaching clients and matchmaking clients. Okay. Because your parents, they are your first models of what love and relationships look like. And it's for gay men, it becomes very complex because you're like, well, wait a minute. Who's the man? Who's the woman? No, there are 2 men in this relationship, right?
I hate when the straights to say that. Just looking for who the boy and who the girl, who the man and who the woman. No, we're both men.
Both men, both have penises.
Preferences, but we're both men at the end of the day.
Right. So, but like, I think we still do pick up on some of the cues from our parents, and it becomes even more complicated when your parents are not together. So it teaches you what you might want to do differently. Usually what we learn is what we want to do differently, and not mirror what they do. It's like, oh, my mother and father, they didn't do this well. So in my relationship, I'm going to make sure I do X, Y, and Z very well. Right. So you kind of overcompensate in that sense.
Definitely. I definitely agree. I definitely agree in that part. Because, like you say, when you looking at these guardians or parents, majority of the time, I think, and just hearing from like talking to people, a lot of people say they don't want to be their parents' relationship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say that, and it's very few to say, "Oh, you know what? I want to be just like my parents." My parents was together a long time, and they to death do us part, and they went through ups and downs, thick and thin. It's rare that you hear that, and then you have a lot of people who grew up in a one household, a one parent household, and whether it was just dad or whether it was just mom, you have that. So I think those are the more damaged people.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you have to look at. So I'm 40. Okay. So
he to put his age out there, y'all.
I'm 40. So if you look at my parents' generation, who are like in their 60s, look at the era that they grew up in, where racism was very still high, job opportunities were very limited for people of color. So that impacts relationships 100%. That impacts opportunities. So and how they communicate with their children, right? So you get to see how different relationships are formed. So as gay men, when we look at that generation, we're like, what the hell do I do? Like, how do I figure out how to love a man? Because I don't see how my parents aren't two men. I don't see images of gay men on TV, and porn or Brokeback Mountain doesn't count. So it impacts us in a way that we don't know what to do. So we have to figure it out. And the way that we figure it out is that we're bumping our head, making mistakes, and then learning and trying to recreate who we are. And if you haven't gone to counseling, or if you haven't worked with a dating coach, or you haven't read different books, then you're really kind of behind everyone in that aspect.
I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Being a dating coach, matchmaking, what advice would you give to someone who says counseling can't fix us, or dating ain't gonna fix us? Just going to see somebody ain't gonna fix us. We can work it out ourselves. What advice would you give them?
How's that working? It ain't working. So, so if both parties don't want to put the effort, it's not going to work. And my question would be then, what are you strategically, what are you specifically, I don't know what other word to use, what actions are you going to take to improve your relationship? And if it's just, we're going to pray about it and see how it goes, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're not doing something that's intentional, and that could be, hey, let's go find another couple to mentor us, right? That's action, that's effort. Or let's look at some YouTube videos about relationships, about gay relationships. Okay, that's action. Like, those are steps that your partner should show that he's willing to do some investment in you all's relationship. Other than that, if he gives up, that's when you start considering ending the relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. What about ignoring red flags?
If you were driving a car, would you ignore those flags?
I've seen it pop up, so that answer your question right there.
Like, if a guy is showing you who he is, he's showing you who he is. Like, he's like being vulnerable. He's showing you his imperfection. He's showing you where he might be toxic. And if you don't address the red flags when you see them appropriately and you ignore them, like, you can't blame him months or years later. He's like, I told you I'm a cheater. Like, I told you I'm bad with money. I told you I'm violent. You still decided to be in a relationship with me. You can't expect him to change later. Yeah. Yeah.
Lamont, this is true. Lacey has another question. Lacey wants to know,
do you have to counsel Black gay men dealing with the plight of being such and walking? Oh, yeah. Like, I make sure I can understand this question. So counsel them about gay men just being who they are, walking through this world, dealing with homophobia, racism, all that. Yes, those are things that we sit down and talk about, because gay men, we live in a different world. Every day we are continuously coming out of the closet. It's not like you come out of the closet when you're 25 and then that's it. Every time you go to a restaurant with your partner, you have to come out, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, do we sit together? Is this neighborhood safe for us to hold hands? Can I kiss them here? Like, the anxiety that gay men have to deal with so that they can protect themselves, it's hell. It is literally, it's not something that I think people who are heterosexual have to think about. Like, they can go on a date with their partner and not worry about someone screaming fag or trying to fight them just because y'all sat down together to have something to eat.
Or staring.
Are staring like, oh, are they gay?
Yeah.
He's feminine. Like, what's that about? Why is he wearing that? Yeah, so we talk about ways that not only how you cope with those things, because we have to cope with those anxiety, but also like strategies for guys to feel safe when they go places.
Right. My next question is, when you have those couples that, and one is very flamboyant, and you have one, you can tell he's gay. How do you coach them on not being so? Because when a man is very flamboyant, you tend not to bring them around your friends as much, or bring them around your parents, or bring them around your family. How do you break that stigma? How do you help them get more comfortable with that? Right.
So internalized homophobia is real, and all gay men deal with some level, including myself. I'm a gay dating coach, and and I'm 40. You would think I have dealt with all of that. Internalized homophobia is something we as gay men deal with on a daily basis, and we are constantly working to unlearn some of those things that we were taught about what it means to be a gay man.
A gay man,
right. Including being feminine, having anal sex, right? So, like, there's a lot of things that being associated with being gay, and that we see it in ourselves or we see it in a partner. It makes us say, you know what? I'm not going to date someone who's feminine because my parents might not approve.
Right.
Or I'm not going to date someone who's feminine because I don't want people staring at us while we walk down the street. Or I don't want to get beat up, or I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want my friends to have to tease me. And that is a process that we all as gay men have to sit down, do some self-reflecting, and thinking about, where do we learn those things about what it means to be gay or be feminine. And if that's something that is toxic and that is still staying in our minds, then what we're doing is really just shaming gay men who are feminine. We're shaming them because we are taught to shame people who resemble anything gay.
Right. And that's what I was about to say a few minutes ago. When, growing up, you hear your parents or your cousins or your siblings saying, stop acting like a punk, stop being a fag, stop doing this. So that, when you grow up, it triggers. And when you when you do certain things, wait, I can't do that, or I can't be this certain type of way, because you have this picture painted what you cannot be. So,
right. And but to that point, though, so there are guys who are real masculine, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to date someone who's feminine, right? Because of what other people think.
Right.
But what do people think about you having anal sex? So there are levels of being gay, I guess, right? And I guess there are some things that are more acceptable because you're like, oh, I'm not that gay. I'm not that type of gay. You're gay.
Gay is gay.
Gay is gay. So it's a place of getting comfortable with the full rainbow and variety of gay men that are out there. And particularly for guys who are like, it's hard for me to find love. And I'm like, well, is your type, is it just the trade who's real masculine? Have you ever considered dating someone who's a little feminine? Like, have you tried it? Like, try it, or you can stay single.
Yeah.
You can stay single.
Yeah. Opening and being open to everything, you know, being willing to accept and just adapt to your community.
Or at least experiencing it, trying it, and seeing if it works for you. Because I found that some guys who are like, "Oh no, I don't do that." Once they genuinely give it an attempt, they're like, "I should have been trying this all my life."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. What advice do you give to people that have struggled to come out or is in a relationship, but their parents don't accept it?
right. So I talked to this one guy the other day,
Okay.
and he was like, he's one of my clients, and he said he doesn't want to come out of the closet until he finds the right guy. He's like, I want to make sure I have a guy who's worthy for me bringing home. And I'm like, no, no. Coming out of the closet should be a decision for you and you alone, not for a guy. And you should be setting the foundation and the environment
Right.
for your future husband so that your family members are respectful and they know where the boundaries are. It would be horrible to bring a guy into a homophobic family. You just now told them that you were gay and you got a boyfriend. That's too much for them. It's too much.
Too much at one time.
Too much. So take the time to set the environment with your family and say, this is who I am. And this is key. Give them time to process it. Give them time to understand you, and when I say time, that's not a week, that's not a month, it could be years. Many gay men, we had to take years for us to accept ourselves, and we expect our family members to just get it like right away. And we still sometimes haven't gotten it. So give them the time to ask questions, think about it, pray about it, make mistakes, and really do the journey of acceptance.
Learning the terminologies and just things. Because I still tell my sister and, you know, some of my close friends, you can't say certain things. You know, that's just, you know, I'm not going to adapt. Well, someone else is not going to accept what you may say around me. Like, everybody like to be called girl or bitch.
Right.
You know
like,
what I'm saying? So,
like, you can't call me that.
yeah. I can, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? So those are the different, you know, just different things, and it's hard. And you know, every day I think we're still learning, like you said, with us and ourselves, and I mean, look at the world now. The world is finally adapting to more homophobic, not homophobic, but sexuality, and you know, accepting more gays and particular men, because I mean, you don't get the same response as you see two women walking down the street.
No, women can do it, but in guys, it's still an issue. I do also think that, to that person's question, you also have to be prepared for your family not to accept you. To say, that's not going to work around me. You can't bring people around me, or I don't want to talk to you. Or they're still going to be trying to pray the gay away. So you have to be prepared for how do you cope with that change or that dynamic in your relationship where it's going to change, where you're like, hey, how do I still interact with them? Or if at all, like, do I cut them off? Like, those are things that gay men have to make decisions about. And if that is the case, I would say make sure you have a strong support system. When I say strong support system, make sure you get friends who love you for who you are. Make sure you talk to a counselor who can support you through some of that. Find a good, you know, if you're a Christian, find a good affirming Christian, you know, church to belong to, so that you can have those types of supports.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Like I said, I hope y'all have learned something, because you know, I know people watch and they don't comment. I get a lot of Instagram messages, or a lot of people even write me on YouTube, or you know, just different things on Facebook, and say, hey, I watched last night. I'm still not comfortable with coming in as well, you know, but this is what I've learned. And it's just different variety of things. Or some people write me and say, hey, I enjoy what you're doing. I'm not out yet, but you're giving me courage to come out. You know, I had a late coming out story. I came out, I was in a relationship, had the baby and everything. Thank God that my parents were more accepting, and my family and everything. They kind of adapt real quick to it, but I didn't give them so much at once. It was kind of here, there. I came out. Then when I came out on social media, I DJ'd and threw parties and stuff. And let me tell you, a lot of people kind of knew, but a lot of people was like, whoa. Like my followers went down. I was like, oh my God, they hate me. But then a lot of people start coming back around.
Well, because here's the thing, Keon. People want you to live in your lie. They prefer you to just say, you know what, I'm straight. Or we know you're gay, but don't talk about that. Like they want you to lie about who you are.
Yeah.
And when you're honest about who you are, that's when they have the problem.
Yeah.
It's like I've been this way. You knew this. I'm just being honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Last question. Is there a recommended time period before moving in together?
It is different for everybody. I think there are some people, they're like, wait a year. Me and my husband, we moved in after about maybe 5 or 6 months of dating. Like it depends on where you're at. And my advice would be, here, listen to this, rent a 1-bedroom apartment where each of you can afford the rent all on your own. So like if someone had to move out, you could be like, oh, I got the bills. So there's no issues. And the way that what's important about that is it gives you a chance to learn each other, learn how you all spend money, allows you to save money. And if you take the risk of moving in with the person, and if it doesn't last for those 12 months, you're in a financial place where you're going to be secure.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Because, you have those people, I'm one of them, moved in within, those 5 and 6 months. And what may work for me may not work for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have people that have been together 10 years and just finally moved in together and move in together and they break up.
Yes. Yeah. So I think
time don't mean anything.
No, but you want to set yourself up for success. You want to set your relationship up for success, especially if it's a newer relationship. Finances sometimes are one of the top reasons why people break up. So set yourself up in a secure financial situation.
Right.
Don't go get a 3-bedroom apartment, buy a house with this guy. No. Downsize, save money, make it work.
Me, I couldn't downsize. Shit, I couldn't move on in. I couldn't downsize. I'm not going to no apartment. We can just make this work.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but no, thank you definitely for coming on. Do you have any more questions for me or anything you want to know before we end this lovely show?
No, I guess thank you for inviting me on. One of the things I tell guys, they're like, hey, Lamont, why do you do this? My goal is when I turn 60, I can look back at all the different relationships, particularly gay relationships that I've been able to help form. Because growing up, I didn't have, gay community, and there wasn't gay marriage. So I'm hoping to be the one that has pushed for gay men to find love, relationships. So if that's you're watching, check out my website. It's betterwaytomeet.com. I work with couples, helping them improve their relationships. I also help gay men across the country find love. Yeah. So thank you so much. Oh, look at you with your graphics. I love it. I love it. Yes.
Yes. So if you want to find Lamont, betterwaytomeet.com. His Instagram is scrolling across on the bottom of the screen. Do you have a Facebook?
I do have a Facebook. It's my name, Lamont White.
Okay.
Or you can go. It's the Gay Dating Coach and Better Way to Meet. I have too many Facebook accounts.
Oh, yeah. Well, which one do you use so they can look on getting in touch?
The Gay Dating Coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those, I see someone ask how could they get in contact with you after this. So if you want to follow his Instagram, it is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you want to find him or get to his website, definitely play the video back, comment, look, and you will see everything that he has. betterwaytomeet.com. Lamont, thank you so much for coming on. Each and every Thursday, y'all tune in at 9:00. I would definitely be catching you on Wednesday.
Okay.
I definitely come in on Wednesday. Those who want to find love, gay men, get over there to Lamont's site. Shoot your shot Wednesday. and you'll find you a man. All the men was up all that. Look, you'll find you a man. But look, thank you, Lamont, for just coming, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, Keon. Keep doing what you're doing. It's absolutely amazing.
All right, y'all. Bye. Child, he get on. He cuts the fool. He talk real shit, bitch. We laugh, we cry, we have fun. They don't have no outlet, or they don't have no voice, or they don't have no one to confide in, you know. So what's up, y'all? It's your boy Keon Stafford, and that is the real Keon Stafford. If you're watching this video right now and you want to advertise, promote your business, your brand, your product, anything you want to do to get exposure, guess what? DM me right now on Instagram at the real Keon Stafford. Once again, that is the real Keon Stafford on Instagram. DM me right now. I got some good packages for y'all. DM me right now.